This is the ACC on ESPN, and welcome to Holiday Hoops from the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. Here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Pitt Panthers host the Holy Cross Crusaders from the Patriot League. And hi again, everybody, along with former Pitt star Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Neverett, so happy you're watching college basketball with us, and happy holidays, everybody. Hopes to be a happy holiday for Michael Young. He continues to lead the Pittsburgh Panthers on this basketball floor.
No question. He's really emerged to be the leader, true leader of this Pitt basketball team. He's getting it done in so many different aspects of the game. As you see him knock down a three there. But the most impressive part about his game is his rebounding, his ability to rebound the basketball. Coming off a superb game against Oakland where he had 19 points. But as you can see, he can fill it up offensively. Very, very solid player.
So Michael Young, again, hoping to lead the Panthers against the Holy Cross Crusaders. Malcolm Miller is their leading scorer. Justin Burrell, he has been a leader on the floor for Holy Cross.
We talk about Malcolm Miller. If Holy Cross has any shot at winning this game tonight, he has to come out and be aggressive and effective. Averaging 12 points a game, very solid basketball player as well. You talk about Justin is a kid that's averaging 11 points a game. The coach is actually asking him to shoot the ball more and be more effective offensively. So look for him to come out to be aggressive tonight.
Milan Brown in his fifth season at Holy Cross, 55 and 67. Played collegiately at Howard. He's also coached at Mount St. Mary's, in the D.C. area. And Jamie Dixon, he's still flirting with career win number 300, looking for 297 tonight in his 12th year on the Pitt bench. For the Holy Cross Crusaders, Anthony Thompson, Justin Burrell, Malcolm Miller, along with Eric Green and Taylor Abt. Those are the starters for Holy Cross. James Robinson, Cameron Wright, Chris Jones, Jamel Artis, and there is the sophomore Young. James Robinson has played with and against Anthony Thompson and Malachi Alexander of Holy Cross, and said this game is for personal bragging rights too.
Yeah, I just confirmed that he actually played against these guys. They played the team takeover, and I just wanted to confirm that, and he went a little further to say that it's personal tonight. He's looking for a little bragging rights out of the game.
Well, Robinson has the ball first for Pittsburgh. First possession of the game. Cameron Wright, who's been back for 4 games since a foot injury kept him out for a lot of the preseason. Pitt is 4-0 with Cam Wright in the lineup. Artis tries a three, in and out. And Young trying to power his way to the hoop. And did he take an extra step? Looks like he did. And turned the ball over. So the first turnover of the game is on Pitt, and Holy Cross will get their first possession.
Pitt executed their offense pretty well. Got a good look from the corner. Artis not able to knock down the three.
There's Anthony Thomason of Glendale, Maryland. The Boyer School, a sophomore at 5'10". He is the taller of the two guards. Justin Burrell with it now. He's 5'9". From Dumfries, Virginia, Potomac High School.
You may be giving both of those guys a couple extra inches there.
Thompson trying to find his way around Wright. He turns it over, taking an extra step, a traveling violation. So each team has had a possession, and each team with a turnover.
Cam Wright is so solid defensively. As you see him just slide into position. Excellent call.
Thompson guarding James Robinson.
Tim,
junior from Baltimore.
Tim, that's what you're going to see all night. Coach Brown says they're not going to deviate from what they do. They pick up 94 feet in pressure.
And Young is fouled by Taylor Abt. Abt, a 6'8" senior from Darnestown, Maryland, Georgetown Prep. Provides a big body in the middle for Holy Cross. Holy Cross has not met Pittsburgh since 1963. There's a bucket for Cameron Wright to start the scoring.
That's a familiar sight. It's good to see him back in rhythm. As he said before the game, I had a chance to talk with him a little bit. He said, Curtis, I got my rhythm back. It's a nice short corner pull-up.
He was out here early working with some other players and trainers. We were feeding him pass after pass after pass. And this was about 4:30 this afternoon. He had already worked up quite a sweat at that point in time. So Cam Wright trying to catch up physically. Eric Green kicks it back up top. Miller now to Thompson. Thompson guarded by Young. Size mismatch there. Thompson into the lane of the Giants, throws one up. Loose ball, battled for and taken down by Jones.
Thompson passed up a wide open look. He's not going to get many of those tonight, so you got to take them when you get them.
Young's going to go right to the basket. Left hand hook's good. And it's 4-0.
Talk about Young and his repertoire of moves. As you see, a nice solid move there. Went to create the contact and over the top with the left.
Malcolm Miller, Laytonsville, Maryland, at the Gaithersburg High School, south of the nation's capital. Burrell guarded by Wright, back to Thompson. Miller cut off on the baseline for Holy Cross. Shot clock is down to 10. Now it's down to 5. Thompson kicks it out. Burrell, a 3 at the buzzer. And it goes over the top of the backboard and out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Pitt Panthers, up 4-0, 17:22 to go in the first half.
Actually, a pretty good find by Thompson. Burrell was just not able to knock down a wide open 3.
Robinson getting it across half court, setting up the Pitt offense. One thing that Pitt has in its favor tonight certainly is the size advantage. Quick jumper for Cam Wright. He's got 4 of the Pitt 6 points.
That's a perfect example of that size advantage there, right over Thomas, I should say, and an easy deuce.
Malcolm Miller, Crusaders leading scorer, gives off to Green, and Green is fouled. Foul will be on Michael Young. Beg your pardon, that'll be Cameron Wright, not Young. Wright called for the foul. That's his first.
I was just going to talk about how well the Panthers are playing their half-court offense, executing extremely well, and Cameron Wright decided to go one-on-one against Thompson, took it right over the top of him for the short jump shot again. It's off to a good start. 4 points for Cameron Wright.
Every time so far you've seen Miller try to cut toward that foul line. There have been 2 Pitt Panthers there to cut off his progress.
I mentioned that Holy Cross isn't going to deviate from what they do defensively, and the same holds true for the Panthers. They're not going to pick up 94 feet, but they're going to get back in the half court.
Malachi Alexander for 3.
And sit down on defense and compete.
That is the great equalizer in college basketball, the 3-point shot.
Well, that keeps anybody in the game.
Malachi Alexander, 6'7" sophomore from Bowie, Maryland. Carried the ball. Cameron Wright turns it over for the carry.
I don't know, from my vantage point, that was a nice little hesitation there.
Jamie Dixon, 16th year at Pitt, 12th as the head coach, 296 and 99. Had a little scare last time out against Oakland. Had to go to overtime before beating Oakland.
I actually called that game on the radio. Well-played game, only 5 turnovers and 9 turnovers for Oakland. 14 turnovers throughout the whole game. That's a pretty solid basketball game.
There's Alexander trying to force his way around and fires one off the glass. Boy, he banked that one just right. He put something on that. It's not just a 1-point game.
A couple buckets back-to-back for Anderson.
Alexander with all 5 Holy Cross points coming off the bench. Cullen Hamilton, one of the guards now, he is on right. And Newkirk in the game for Pitt, feeding Michael Young. Hook shot for Young, no good. It was short on it. Alexander the rebound ahead to Burrell. Alexander whips it over to Miller. Malcolm Miller trying to find a way to get into the offense. Holy Cross will reset their offense. First 5 minutes of the first half gone by.
That's one area that Alexander's really improved in, becoming a pick and pop guy, not just a post guy.
With 3 seconds to shoot, Burrell will throw one up high off the glass. And Jamel Artis with the board for Pitt. Newkirk cross court to Jones. Jones gets a screen from Young. Pick and roll there, and Young fouled on his way to the basket. So Michael Young will be hitting the free throw line when we come back to the Peterson Event Center. Pitt Panthers with a 6-5 lead early on. Well, the Pittsburgh Panthers certainly had their success in their home building. The 13th season at the Peterson Event Center. They've got the 9th ranking in the nation's top home court winning percentages. 198 and 27 here. How about that record for the month of December, Curtis? 57-2.
Well, they've been getting it done, no question about it. And it's just amazing that they've been here 13 years already. I mean, at times it seemed like it was yesterday that this building's opened up, but they've had their fair share of wins in terms of close games and overtime games, and it's just been a lot of fun if you're a Pitt basketball fan to come to this beautiful arena and watch the Panthers compete on a night in and night out basis.
Pitt has won 4 straight games. They've won 28 straight non-conference games at home. Looking for number 29 tonight, but it's a 1-point game. 6-5 Holy Cross and Malachi Alexander in particular have scored the last 5 points of the ball game after Pitt went up 6-0. And Young's first free throw of the night falls. He was fouled by Alexander.
Talk about being aggressive. Mike Young has really come out being aggressive tonight. You know, he's the guy that improved his outside shot, 12, 13 foot from the basket, and he hasn't even thought about going outside and facing the basket. He's taking it right to him, and as a result, he's doing well in terms of point production so far, but he's getting to the free throw line as well.
3-point lead. Derek Randall into the game now for Pittsburgh. 6'9" senior out of Brooklyn, transfer from Rutgers. Miller feeds Christopher Morgan, who's fresh into the ball game for the Crusaders. Anthony Thompson swings it up top for Hamilton. Back for Thompson, along with a block for Morgan. Guarded by Randall. Morgan steps back and hits.
Beautiful post move by Morgan, but it all started with the spacing. Holy Cross is doing a great job of getting good spacing where you can create those isolations as you saw there. Nice shot by Morgan.
One thing we know about Holy Cross, just judging from the early season numbers, defensively they play a very tenacious style. They're 6th in the country in steals per game. They force an average of 19 turnovers for the opposition a game. Randall in the miss. Miller battling for the loose ball. Holy Cross comes up with it. In the corner it goes. Shot taken and missed by Cullen Hamilton. Pitt quickly back with it. Lead pass goes to Sheldon Jeter. It's intercepted by Miller. And he throws it out of bounds. So a couple of sloppy exchanges there for both teams.
It really was. Just a little anxious. But I like it. I like the tempo of the game. The Panthers are looking to push it, and Holy Cross is coming right back at them. Fun game to watch so far. When you talk about defense, Coach Braun, that's one thing he talked about. Is they want to play 94 feet. They want to compete the entire game, you know, full court pressing and see what happens.
Ryan Luther, true freshman from the area, from Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. Hampton High School is checked in. Luther away from the ball that time, but Randall is fouled by Malcolm Miller. Christopher Morgan committing the foul and not Miller.
Not a bad foul because Randall clearly had position. And if you want to take one, that's not a bad time to take one.
Checking into the game for Holy Cross, Mitchell Hahn. He is a freshman. Gets into the game with a block, but Luther, the reverse land is good.
Right place, right time, Luther.
3-point Pitt lead.
Nice reverse. Panthers are switching on all ball screens. Luther popped up, switch.
Anthony Thompson picked up by Randall. Now Jeter gets it.
Okay, you know what?
And the freshman Hahn tries the three.
Well, you didn't want on the switch. You didn't want Randall on Thompson.
Foul is going to be whistled on Thompson as he got a hold of James Robinson. Keys to the game, Curtis. What does Holy Cross need to do to win this one?
I think they need to control the tempo of the ball game. I like what they're doing defensively. Offensively, just spread the court and run their stuff. Solid job so far.
And for Pitt,
well, the Panthers have to execute, do a better job of executing, and obviously offensively, you know, run their stuff in terms of out of bounds play. They do a really good job doing that as well.
Well, Robinson with it. And now Newkirk trying to dribble through a double team. That's tapped out of bounds. And Pitt will keep it with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Newkirk, we're talking about speeding the game up. That's a guy, you get the ball in his hands and you just go.
Good shot by Jeter off the inbound. No good. Luther taps it to Robinson to keep it alive. He took a sure rebound away from Alexander, who was sitting there waiting for that basketball to come down, but Luther popped it out of his hand. Now Luther's thinking about the shot. Pass to Newkirk. Young puts it back out to Newkirk. 15 to shoot. Newkirk jump stop. Blocked. And Holy Cross with the basketball. Green came up with it. Cross hanging in so far. There's a basket made by Taylor Abt. And he'll go to the line for a possible three-point play.
Very impressive with their spacing. Their ability to find the open guy.
A chance to tie for Holy Cross. Will they do it? Find out when we come back. One-point lead for Pitt. 11:47 to go until halftime. It's been a season, at least a preseason, of early season upsets. How about Wofford over NC State by a point? New Jersey Institute of Technology, an opponent that Holy Cross beat the University of Michigan 72-70. Incarnate Word upsetting Nebraska, Tim Miles Cornhuskers. Also, Eastern Washington with a win over the Indiana Hoosiers. Yale beating Connecticut. And Texas Southern a win over Michigan State. And I think that left all the teams in that right-hand column a little bit stunned.
The one that jumps out at me the most is the Yale-Connecticut game.
And Apt on the miss, so it stays a one-point Panther lead. Holy Cross has been very patient with their offense so far, Curtis.
They have been, but they're trying to force the tempo. They're trying to force an up-tempo game, but I'll be honest with you, I think that kind of plays into Pitt Panthers' hands. This isn't the typical Pitt basketball team that likes to play a half-court set. They don't mind getting up and down as well.
In 5 of the last 10 possessions prior to this one, they've run the shot clock under 10 seconds. Let's see if they continue that pace.
Well, if they don't have anything up the fast break, they will slow it down and work the clock because they execute their offense extremely well. Look at the spacing. I can't talk enough about that. Got the shot you wanted, just wasn't able to knock it down with the spacing.
Janelle Harnish, the rebound. Quick pass down the floor. Young is fouled, and he scores. 2 more points for Michael Young, and he'll go to the line.
You talk about looking up the floor. That's one of the guys that can do it as well as anybody in the country. James Robinson, good find. Give him credit on the finish, but I don't know if that was a little luck involved or not. And one.
So, 12-9. Young with 4 points. They get 5. That's 13-9. Michael Young had 17 rebounds against St. Bonaventure, and he needed every one of those as it took Pitt everything they had to beat the Bonnies. They won by 2 points.
Mike's been effective early. He's actually had 7 right now.
shot is short, and he's got another one. Robinson to Cam Wright. Wright pulls up. Rebound to Eric Green. Green pumps it back out to Burrell. Burrell to Alexander. And Malcolm Miller, top of the key, will let one fly for three. Rebound from Robinson. Again, they're getting the shots, they're just not falling.
Chris Jones has done a pretty good job on Malcolm Miller so far. He hasn't called his name much at all.
That ball is on the sideline, out of bounds. The ball will go back to Pitt. 10 seconds lost on the shot clock for Pittsburgh, so 25 to shoot once they get it in play.
Coach Brown was wondering why Alexander didn't get on the floor after that one. Hard to come up with a loose ball when you're standing upright.
Well, Pitt had a stretch before Young's basket and free throw where they were 1 out of 6 from the floor. They started 3 of 4. Now Young involved in some contact underneath again.
Well, if you're going to stop Young tonight, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to double down. You have to pinch down every opportunity you get. When he has the basketball that low, it's hard to stop. But that was a good double team coming from the weak side.
Under 10 minutes remain, first half. 5 seconds to shoot. Robinson bounce pass to a wide open Young for 2 more. And Michael Young having up points now of 9. He is the leading scorer in the game. And Holy Cross with the basketball. They're 1 for their last 6 from the floor.
They've had some success posting up and getting to the basket, but the last few possessions they've settled for the outside jump shot. There's another one.
And Green trying to corner a 3. Robinson, another rebound. Second one for him. Jones looking for some help as Pitt has spread the floor out. And by spreading the floor out, what does that do to Holy Cross's defense?
Well, it puts them in a situation where you can create some mismatches, but you know, when you have a guy that thinks pass first like James does, it pays dividends to the Pitt Panthers.
Jones missed the 3. Artis the putback, 17-9. Holy Cross needs a timeout as the Pitt Panthers are on a 7-0 run. 8:56 left in the first half. Jones had it lined up from the right corner here, Curtis. Just didn't go, but Artis was in the right spot.
It was. Nice rebound, good hesitation. Looking for the contact. It wasn't there, but still able to finish.
Jamel Artis, sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland. He had 14 points in that game against St. Bonaventure. Also in the season opener against Niagara. Both of them career highs for Artis.
Well, silky smooth at 6'7", can put the ball on the floor. He's starting to become a better defensive player, which is something the Coach Dixon always emphasizes to him is defense first. The offense will come, and speaking of offense, he's starting to let the game kind of come to him. Early on, he was forcing some shots, but you talked about what he's done the last couple of games. That's simply because he's let the game come to him.
14-point performances were career highs until he met the Jaspers of Manhattan. Then he poured in 20 2 games ago. Here's what you and I did right here. And a foul by Artis as he fouled Malachi Alexander. That's his second foul on Artis. Third team foul. So 3 team fouls for Pitt, 5 for Holy Cross in the first half.
Well, I talked about Holy Cross their last few possessions. They've settled for the jump shot, but I got to give the Pitt Panthers a lot of credit. They've done a good job of pushing them and forcing them outside and not allowing them to post up on the block.
And right on the end line, out of bounds, Colin Hamilton, junior out of Washington, D.C. Hamilton, one of the first guys off the bench, and another guy that Coach Brown said that he would like to see score more. So he wears a brace on his left knee. He had MCL surgery last year. Sometimes a little slow to get going, but once he does, he's fine. Jones fires to Artis. Ochebo in the game. He knocks that one down. He's having a good start to his season, isn't he?
He really is, and he's a guy that just spells him, gives the big guy, Mike Young, at times just a few minutes, but he's been effective, and he's not the most athletic kid on the team, but he does a good job of getting himself in the right position.
Boy, did he have himself a game against the Duquesne Dukes. Career high 12 points. Right going the length of the floor, blocked by Alexander. That goes out of bounds. And we'll take a timeout. The Pitt Panthers have built themselves a 10-point lead over the Holy Cross Crusaders. Welcome back to Holiday Hoops on ESPN. I'm Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Never at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. The ACC meets the Patriot League tonight. Pitt Panthers leading Holy Cross 19-9. Pitt's on a 9-0 run right now. Remember, at the 11:46 mark, Curtis, the score was 10-9. And now Pitt, the last 9 points. Holy Cross scoreless over the last 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Well, you talk about Pitt. Obviously, Mike Young has been a factor, but they have 4 other guys that has points on the board as well. So when you get that many guys involved, obviously it's a good thing for you. Holy Cross is out, put the pressure out top. Coach Brown said that that's very important to get ball pressure every opportunity you get. Holy Cross trying to be effective defensively.
Finds Jones cutting to the basket for 2. And Chris Jones on the board. Jones normally is going to hit 3s, not 2s. He's leading the team in 3-pointers with 17, but that time there, that play designed well for him.
Well, they have several guys that can actually fill it up. We talk about Artis, Jones, and of course Cam Wright's the leader of this team, I think, offensively. Mike Young has given him a lot. We have so many guys in different positions that can actually get hot and fill it up.
Shot clock's under 5, long 3. Anthony Thompson didn't have a choice but to take it. Ball back to Pitt. And maybe part of the philosophy, Curtis, could be the longer you hold on to the basketball, the less Pitt's going to get it. Ochebo, he's got 4. It's 23-9.
No help on the weak side. They double team the ball. Almost at midcourt. Nobody rotated weak side, easy layup inside.
Thompson looking back for direction. Holy Cross with wholesale changes waiting to happen at the next whistle. Double team on Alexander. Shot short by Cullen Hamilton. Out of the pack is Cameron Wright.
Hamilton had a big time pocket pass he could have dropped to the big guy.
Robinson, pull-up pop. Artist the rebound. Another chance, a fresh shot clock. And he gave it away to Alexander. Burrell. Able to get that one to go. Here comes Jones. Pitt has scored on 5 of the last 6 possessions. They get 6 or 7. That's 6 points for Joe Ochibo.
Ochibo credit, but it's an excellent find by Robinson. Panthers are doing a good job of making Holy Cross work deep into the shot clock.
Over to the basketball in the left wing. Now Alexander guarded by Artis. Scramble for the ball to the basket after sit on for Holy Cross. And Holy Cross will have the basketball with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. They have not scored a point since the 11:46 mark.
Well, again, they've been forced into some tough shots because they find themselves with 2 or 3 seconds left on the shot clock and have to chuck one up. Coach Brown's making a few changes there.
Holy Cross from the floor, 4 for 16, 1 for 7 from 3.
So that out of bounds play in the.
Oh, nice play. Reverse lay and Anthony Thompson. So that ends a long drought.
Haven't been effective 10 from outside. That's what you got to do. Take the ball to the rack. Nice little matchup here.
Ochibo matching up with Matt Husek. Inside, Ochibo. Couldn't get the roll that time. Ochibo with a quick 6 points off the bench. On with the ball, looking for Husek. Taken away by Robinson. Coaches always talk about taking care of the basketball. That might be part of Coach Brown's halftime conversation.
I'll say.
A foul is called in the lane. Foul on Pittsburgh. That'll be on Ryan Luther.
On the floor.
I beg your pardon, Ryan Luther. It'll be on Ochibo. That's his first. So Ochibo will take a seat. He gets a nice hand with 6 quick points off the bench. Green left-hand dribble into the lane, changes hands, a little too hard off the glass. And Luther gets it up court. And Newkirk fouled by Anthony Thompson. Timeout on the floor. 3:57 to go in the first half of play. Pitt leads by 14. Five and 11, Pitt on top of Holy Cross. 3:57 to go in the first half of play. It's been the play in the paint. And coming off the bench, Joe Ochibo getting it done.
Well, with the height and size advantage over Holy Cross, all you need to do is spread the floor and create mismatches, as you saw there.
Uchebo using the glass that time. He averages just over 2 points a game. Again, a career-high 12 against Duquesne on the 5th of December, but an almost record time for him to get 6 quick points.
Ineffective early, and here's a guy that started, didn't play a lot, but he started early in the season, a few games, playing like he wants his spot back.
Pitt will inbound the ball. After that foul by Anthony Thompson. Break. Burrell guarding Robinson. Newkirk. Turnover for Pitt. Again, Holy Cross trying to make a bit of a run. Pitt is on a 15-2 run over a period of just under 8 minutes. That one's going to fall. Robert Champion, sophomore out of Charlotte, North Carolina, just came off the bench during the last timeout. In his first few seconds of play, he gets 2 points, fouled by Ryan Luther. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
I think Coach Brown obviously talked about it at the half. During the timeout, putting the emphasis on not settling for the outside shot. Take the ball to the rim. If you can create a dribble drive and kick situation, that's fine. But he wants that ball at the rim, which creates more opportunities, even from the free throw line.
Well, Champion has 3 points. It's half of his total from the last game he played in against Canisius, where he had 6. 11 points is the lead for Pitt. Sheldon Jeter with the basketball, guided by Champion. Pops the pass to Newkirk. Artis, the front rim, and Burrell running the floor for the Crusaders.
Jeter is arguably the most athletic kid on the Pitt Panthers team. Had a spectacular dunk a few games ago.
Yeah. Holy Cross came into this one losing 3 of the last 4. They opened Patriot League play on New Year's Eve against Boston University at home in Worcester, Mass.
They started off pretty well, won a close game against Harvard, and went on a couple-game winning streak after that until they ran into Syracuse and lost by 24. But Syracuse is
Malcolm Miller didn't hit the rim, so that is a shot clock violation. Got to hit rim somehow within 35 seconds. So Malcolm Miller had a big game against Harvard. You mentioned that they were ranked 25th in the nation at the time. It was a coaches versus cancer game.
That meant a lot.
It meant a lot to him because 2 years ago his mom passed away from cancer, and he ended up having an outstanding game leading them against Harvard. It was a big, big win.
One of the great luxuries that the Pitt Panthers have. They really have 2 point guards on the floor, and they have Newkirk and Robinson in the game at the same time.
Artis. Back out for Newkirk. Open look for Jones. He missed just off the front rim. Trying to save it from going out of bounds. Ends up in the front row. Back to Holy Cross.
One of the things Coach Dixon preaches, passing up good shots for better shots. Newkirk had a good shot. He passed it up and had a wide open. Chris Jones wasn't able to knock it down, but those are the kind of shots you want.
Holy Cross won the NCAA tournament in the 1946-47 season. They also won the NIT in the 50s. They're one of 16 college basketball programs to have won both the NCAA and NIT tournaments. A long history of Holy Cross.
I remember the great Ron Perry.
1 second on the timer. That did hit the rim. No violation. Pitt on the run. Jones with Newkirk. 2-on-1. Pass just behind him. Champion broke it up. Battle for the loose ball. It'll go back to Holy Cross.
Obviously, that wasn't the right decision, but you don't mind guys making mistakes when they're playing unselfish basketball. Tough angle to get that ball back.
You mentioned Ron Perry. How about Bob Cousy?
He can play a little bit.
Hall of Famer.
let's not insinuate the obvious here, but Ron Perry, I mean.
Ron Perry was very, very good.
Excellent player. I believe he's doing some commentating now up in the Boston area.
The Crusaders with the ball, 1:15 left. Alexander off to Burrell. He missed the three, and Jones scouting for the rebound, outreaching champion.
Panthers have the numbers.
Running for Jones is good for two.
He had options there, made the right decision. Superb pull-up.
Under a minute to go in the first half. One thing for Holy Cross, they have to root for Michigan this year to beat everybody they play, because New Jersey Institute of Technology, who beat Duquesne, was beaten by Holy Cross. Holy Cross beat NJIT. NJIT upsets Michigan. Now it's an RPI thing.
Right.
Now Holy Cross wants Michigan to win every game in the Big Ten. That would only help Holy Cross's RPI.
That's right. Amazing how things work.
I don't know how many Michigan's going to win in the Big Ten. Wisconsin's going to have something to say about that. But Michigan State, pretty good teams. Ohio State.
Wisconsin's in their, what, top 5, right?
They are. They're the top-ranked team in the Big Ten right now. They're a 27-14 lead. As we look at the final 25 and 3/10 seconds in the first half. Where is Holy Cross, you might ask? Worcester, Massachusetts. Founded in 1843. Very small enrollment of 2,877. In the Patriot League, they have been to 12 NCAA tournaments, winning it. I mentioned earlier, the 1946-47 season. About 20 years ago, they entered the Patriot League, dropped scholarships in football. And there was a lot to do about that. I understand that they are now giving scholarships in football once again. And some of the old rivals that they had on their football schedule will now be back, like Boston College, which was a huge game for Holy Cross. We'll play them, I think, in 2018.
You may ask yourself, why did Coach Dixon call a timeout? 13 points with 25 seconds to go. He's starting to put a lot of emphasis on finishing the game strong, finishing the half strong, being sharp. Let's see what they come up with out of here.
Cam Wright can't connect. This ball battled for. Pitt will get another shot. And Jamel Artis has it swatted away at the last moment by Champion. 27-14 halftime lead. Stand by, coming up. Get you up to date on some news and notes from around the ACC. It's Holiday Hoops on ESPN. We are at the half, 27-14. Jamie Dixon's Pitt Panthers in front. Welcome back to the Peterson Event Center on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. We are at the half. The Holy Cross Crusaders visiting the Pitt Panthers. ACC basketball on ESPN. And the ACC preseason poll had this look to it, with Duke on top, followed by North Carolina, Louisville, Virginia, Syracuse. Pitt was voted 6th in the preseason. Notre Dame 7th, and Florida State rounds out the top 8. It won't be long before these teams will go head-to-head and try to prove things on the court. Some guys have been proving a lot on the court as it is. This week's Players of the Week for Week 7 in the ACC. Terry Rozier of the Louisville Cardinals had a career-high 32 points and leading the Cardinals against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. He is averaging nearly 17 points a game for Louisville. And Jahlil Okafor for Duke played against Connecticut and Elon. He averaged 18.5 points and 14 rebounds. And he is the ACC Rookie of the Week for the 4th time this season. Here's what's coming up for the Pitt Panthers. They have one more non-conference tilt before the conference schedule begins. 1 week from tonight here on ESPN, they'll take on Florida Gulf Coast at 7:30. Then it's on the road to Raleigh, NC State, and Chestnut Hill on January 6th to take on the Boston College Eagles. The home ACC opener will be January 10th against the Clemson Tigers at noon. And then the Florida State Seminoles are here at the Pitt for a 9 p.m. game on January 14th. Stand by. We'll check the ACC scores and more when we continue at the half. Holy Cross and Pitt. This is the ACC on ESPN. Welcome back to the Peterson Event Center with Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Everett. Glad you're watching Holiday Hoops with us on ESPN. 27-14 is the halftime score. Pitt in front. Pitt went on a 17-5 run to finish the half. Meantime, Holy Cross was held to only 2 field goals over the last 11 minutes and 46 seconds. Let's take a look at the scoreboard in the ACC right now. So the game's in progress. Minute 11 to go in the first. Louisville leading Cal State Northridge 36-25. NC State trailing Louisiana Tech at the half. And still to come, Georgia Tech and Dayton. One other score of interest we had talked about, New Jersey Institute of Technology, who had pulled off a pretty major upset over the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines, trying to do it again over the Big East Villanova Wildcats. 42-39, and they're a little less than a minute away from halftime as NJIT is trying to get it done again tonight. The ACC and the Associated Press top 25. Duke is number 2. Louisville is number 4. Louisville in action right now. Virginia, North Carolina. And on Saturday, a big one on ESPN2 at 2 o'clock Eastern as the Kentucky Wildcats take on the Louisville Cardinals. Kentucky is 12-0. Louisville 10-0. That's going to be a game with some points. And certainly we've seen how Kentucky can score points. Louisville also puts the ball in the hoop.
Well, Kentucky's going to be tough to beat, no question about it. And you hear Calipari talk about not his second wave of guys, but his reinforcement of guys that are just as good as the starting unit. I mean, that's going to be a tremendous game. Obviously, you talk about two of the elite coaches in college basketball, and they go at it from time to time as well. So I'm looking forward to it. 2 o'clock, I'll be in front of my TV with some popcorn waiting on that one.
Yeah, Bluegrass State rivalry. It'll be very, very good. Make sure you tune into that one. Coming up, we'll take a look at the first half stats and highlights. 27-14 Pitt. At the half in Pittsburgh, 27-14, Pitt with the lead. And it was a somewhat close game at the beginning, although Holy Cross has never had a lead in this one, and Pittsburgh has led by as many as 16. But they didn't have a point on the board. The Crusaders did not until Malachi Alexander came into the ball game.
Well, he decided he wanted to be aggressive, and they were settling for the jump shots earlier, but then as you see, he knocked down one here, but after that, he started really doing a good job of attacking the rim, which put the pressure on the Pitt Panthers, and he got one to go there. But Alexander's really been the only bright spot for them. But you talk about the Pitt Panthers, they've been dominant inside due to the unselfish play of James. He's doing a good job of finding these guys in transition. And as you see, the nice bounce pass there to Mike Young. Mike Young has really exerted himself, but they've been taking advantage just on a pure height and size advantage. As you see, Uchibo there inside, and done a good job of being active himself, from at least from an offensive standpoint, understanding that they do have the advantage inside there.
Yeah, Joe Uchibo had 6 quick points off the bench. You want to talk about the height difference and what benefit it is? Just look at the rebounding number. Pitt dominating the glass in the first half, 24-9.
No question. And you look at the points in the paint, it's simply, obviously it's been a mismatch, but probably the thing that jumps out at me the most is the second chance opportunities. The Panthers have 8 second chance points, which would kill you. We look at the offensive glass. The Panthers have 7 offensive rebounds versus 0 offensive rebounds for Holy Cross. The Panthers doing a good job of boxing out. Holy Cross has to return the favor on the other end, keep the Panthers off the offensive glass if they have any chance of getting back in this game.
We'll see what adjustments the Holy Cross Crusaders will make to start the second half as we come to you from Pittsburgh tonight on this holiday week game from the Peterson Event Center. 27-14, second half next. As we get set to start the second half, a peek at the Patriot League preseason poll. American on top, Army. Holy Cross picked third in the preseason poll. Lafayette and Bucknell, Terriers of Boston University and Lehigh. See the rest of the Patriot League preseason poll. Holy Cross third place, that's one thing, but when you're in the Patriot League, Curtis, in order to get to the NCAA tournament, you've got to rely on an automatic bid. We talked to Mylan Brown about that earlier today, and he knows it. It's very, very difficult, close to impossible right now to get an at-large bid coming out of the Patriot League.
Well, these games really help prepare them for their lead, and that's why they play these types of games. I mean, they're obviously looking to win the game, but they realize that in most cases it's going to be tough to win these games, but they got to run their stuff. Defensively, they find out where they are, who they are. Offensively, you know, when you look at how they spread the floor early in the ball game, they understand if they're patient and aggressive with the basketball and spread the court, that they stand their best chance. So they're learning as these games go on, and obviously they're going up against these ACC schools. They don't expect to win them, but they expect to learn something about themselves through the process.
Ron Brown's brother also works in the world of sports. His brother Morocco is the assistant general manager of the Cleveland Browns, and he is in the building tonight. Jamel Artis, the first shot of the second half, missed everything, and the rebound to Anthony Thompson. So, if you are Mylan Brown, what do you tell Holy Cross in the locker room at halftime?
Oh, you just have to continue to compete, run your stuff. See a nice knockdown there, but run your stuff and don't get off balance. What I mean by that is don't let the Panthers throw you out of your rhythm. They've done a good job of doing that the first half. Let's see if the Holy Cross can come out and continue to compete and run their stuff.
Well, important for Malcolm Miller to get into the offense. Their leading scorer was shut out in the first half.
Well, you rarely called his name. I mean, he didn't take but one or two shots.
Good line pass inside. Good pass by Cam Wright. Michael Young with the finish. He's the first in the double figures now with 11 points.
Somehow they know where Michael Young is on the floor at all times.
Cam Wright really threaded the needle with that backhanded pass. Now Miller again. And Jones the rebound. Do you think that it's got to be in Holy Cross's game plan to shoot the threes and use that to get back into the game?
Well, anytime you're down double digits and things seem to be getting tight, you want to look to do that, but they haven't been successful throughout the year from three.
Thompson, speed pass right, finds some room and scores. Oh, what a play by Anthony Thompson.
Beautiful play by Thompson. That's the best shot they have, is trying to get to the rim.
This is incredible. Thompson, the sophomore out of Glendale, Maryland.
It's not easy to do, run by Cameron Wright like that. He put on the Jets. Nice finish.
Good look at it here. Used every bit of that reach to get that layup up over a defender. A 10-point lead for Pitt. Just underway in the second half. Underneath, that one's going to fall, and Young with 13 points. They'll try to make it 14 from the line. Michael Young right around his average. He averages 13.7 a game.
Excellent pin down by Michael Young. Good court awareness, understanding. Just be patient.
Young, just in all kinds of traffic, somehow found the basket. You know, I don't know if he likes playing against Chaminade or if he just likes going to Hawaii, but he had a career-high 27 there this year on the 24th of November.
Probably a little bit of both.
I know you liked playing in Hawaii when you were there. You had 39 against Arkansas.
Good memory, man.
Apt with the shot. And Jones pulls down the rebound. Must be the altitude or the time zone, one or the other.
Beautiful scenery, didn't have. Wasn't bad either.
Malachi Alexander comes up with the ball for Holy Cross.
Good shot by James.
Apt looking for Burrell. Burrell finds Anthony Thompson. Back for Burrell, and he just throws up a teardrop. That doesn't fall. Hart is battling for it. Goes out of bounds. Ball will be off of Holy Cross, and Pittsburgh will have the possession with 17:06 to go. Coming back in the game for Holy Cross will be Christopher Morgan. out who went to school at Howard, which is in the northwest quadrant of Washington, D.C., and then was at Mount St. Mary's. Has a lot of connections in that area of D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, also known as the DMV, but the one you don't have to wait in line in. And so a lot of his players have come from that region.
He played a great brand of basketball in that area. We talked to him before the game. He mentioned he was good friends with, his brother was good friends with Coach Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Helped his brother out a little bit.
Artis, will he get the roll? Yes, Artis for two. His brother was a middle linebacker out of NC State. Was actually a last cut by Bill Cowher from the Steelers one time. So he's got his not a big Pittsburgh connection, but he was relaying his Pittsburgh connection earlier this morning. So to the line is Christopher Morgan, another player from the state of Virginia, 6'7" junior. Knocks it down. Morgan with 3 points in the game now. He had 4 points and 5 rebounds against Nichols. He had 2 points and a rebound against Albany. Hasn't had a lot of production on the offensive side, but trying to get there before Patriot League play continues.
That's one of the things, Tim, when you look at these mid-major schools, that's the disadvantage that they have. You see Derek Jeter just checking the game. I mean, here's a guy who can start on most teams. But that's the biggest difference. You have schools like Pitt that can throw fresh bodies out there, and guys that are experienced, that are very good athletes, that understand the game, and they just wear you down over time.
Pick up pressure by Holy Cross to start this possession. And Cameron Wright will hand off to Robinson. 13 seconds on the timer. Artis back for Robinson. 7 seconds to shoot. And it's stolen by Anthony Thompson.
It's a good poke by Thompson to get his hand in there. You don't see that very often. James Robinson turning the basketball over, particularly that way. Maybe on a pass, but not just on a flat-out steal.
Thompson looking for some help. Green back out. Malachi Alexander in and out on the three. Jeter was trying for the rebound for Pittsburgh, but Eric Green ended up with the loose ball.
Alexander's had a couple good looks and not been able to get him to go down.
Green with it. It's the first offensive rebound, by the way, that Holy Cross had this game.
Good weak side help.
There's one thing that we were told this morning had to be one of the keys to the game for Holy Cross. They had to take care of the offensive glass. Sheldon Jeter and the Pitt Panthers with a 33-21 lead. More to come from the Peterson Event Center. This is the ACC on ESPN. And from Pittsburgh, the Pitt Panthers and Holy Cross Crusaders, 33-21 Pitt, 15:08 remaining. With Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Nemeth. You're watching Holiday Hoops with us tonight on ESPN. Hope everybody has a great holiday week. That's kind of what it turns out to be when Christmas Eve's on a Wednesday, Christmas on a Thursday. Turns into a week. Sheldon Jeter back out on the floor for Pitt. Transfer from Vanderbilt, but from nearby Beaver Falls. Went to Beaver Falls High School.
Here it is.
Lob inside for Young.
We missed Jeter going down the middle over the top.
Ryan Luther has entered the game for Pitt, true freshman. Cam Wright pulls up, launches, and not connected. So neither team really with a hot hand at the moment.
No, not at all, but one guy that can get hot in a hurry, and that's Ryan Luther that you just mentioned. A true freshman has really made a solid contribution to the Pitt Panthers so far. Doesn't look to score the ball a lot, but can turn at his size, 6'8", 6'9", and face the basket and knock down shots from the perimeter. Solid player he is.
There's Green's pull-up. Hit the back iron. And Cam Wright comes down with a rebound. Again, Pitt dominating in the rebounding category. They have been cleaning up the glass. Newkirk enters the paint, needs some help. Two for 7 for Holy Cross. For Pitt, 3 out of 7. Shot clock is down to 5. And Sheldon Jeter is fouled on the floor by Malachi Alexander.
When you think about on the offensive end for Holy Cross, one of the things that the Panthers have done and done very effectively and really thrown Holy Cross out of their rhythm is they're a team that likes to get a lot of high ball screens, a lot of pick and roll action, and the Panthers do a good job of switching. If they don't switch, their bigs come out in the hedge and really disrupt their offense. And they haven't been able to get anything. As you see, Newkirk do a good job of turning the corner and finishing with a nice right-hand layup.
35-21. Holy Cross trying to get their offense going. Thompson back out for Champion. Foul on the perimeter. Well, the foul's going to be on Newkirk. That's his first. Second team foul on Pitt.
Newkirk has to get used to that. One of the things that they're doing is putting a lot of emphasis that referees, on armbar checking and hand checking. They're calling that right away. Got to learn how to play without doing that. Now, the Big East of old, that was legal.
It was legal. Ochibo back in. Young takes a seat. Ochibo comes off the bench with 6 points. Taylor Apt in there trying to set a pick on Luther. Alexander the kick out. Miller missed on the 3 ball. A foul underneath on Ochibo. That's the 3rd Pitt foul. And the 2nd on Joseph Ochibo.
Nice sequence for Alexander there. Got to the rim and kicked it out for a wide open jump shot. Miller was not ready to shoot that basketball. You got to be shot ready. Alexander's on the boards, keeping it alive.
Ochibo committed the foul. A guy who makes trips to special stores to get certain kinds of foods and spices. Loves to spend time in the kitchen with the Nigerian cooking. Reminds him of home. Oh, foul underneath. Green tried to go to the basket here.
I think they just said it was knocked out. No foul.
No foul? Wow. So Sheldon Jeter was right there and got away with contact. Now Miller again. Too long that time. And Robinson the rebound. 4th rebound for James Robinson. And another whistle, this time at the other end of the floor. 35-21. 12:53 left.
Jeter got fouled on that play, but that's one kid that's fun to watch in transition. He really attacks the rim.
Jeter at the line, and his free throw no good. He'll have another. Sheldon Jeter went to Polk State Junior College in Winter Haven to take some classes in between his time at Vanderbilt and Pitt. Did not play basketball one day. Went down there and took the semester to get everything squared away academically.
Just did a lot of skill work, understanding that if he's going to be effective here with the Pitt Panthers, he has to develop that 12 or 13-foot jump shot. Much improved, but still got some work to do.
Holy Cross trying to find an open man. Malachi Alexander, no good on the three. Three-point shot has not been the friend for Holy Cross. Looked like Miller touched it last and out of bounds. Pitt will maintain possession.
He did, but how about those Jets? I mean, he just beat the whole team up the court. Wasn't able to finish. I think he was a little too fast for himself on that fast break.
Three-point shooting. Holy Cross is 2 for 17. Pitt is 0 for 3. So one thing that Holy Cross wanted to do was take away the three-point game, but Pitt's just not shooting many. 36-21, timeout in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Panthers continue to have success under Jamie Dixon. He's looking for his 297th career win tonight. Out of 10 NCAA tournaments with Pitt. All-time winningest coach in the Big East at 3 Big East championships. Looking for more success as this season goes along. One more non-conference game before conference play begins against NC State. And
the thing about Coach Dixon, obviously he knows he's had some success here at Pitt, but he's so consumed with his team, his coaching staff, and so much about handling his business. He pays that no attention and just really, really modest, down-the-earth guy, and obviously a great coach.
Jeter took an extra step, traveled, he turns it over. Yeah, Jamie's very, very focused on what's happening right now today.
Always in the moment. Right now, he wasn't happy with that turnover.
One thing he's always concerned with is execution. He preaches execution to his players and says, got to get better and better. Oh, the backdoor lob. It would have been an alley-oop to Miller, but broken up by the Panthers. Kirk to Jeter. Sticks it in the corner for Robinson. Wraparound pass around Green, got to Ochibo. Ochibo fumbled the ball momentarily, finds Luther open, wide open look, top of the key. Like it was partially blocked by Green.
Got a piece of it.
Burrell over to Miller. And what do you think about Holy Cross those long possessions as they did in the first half down as time continues to tick.
Well, you got to give credit to the Pitt Panthers. I mean, they're forcing them into a situation where they don't have any good looks. And look up and there's 4 or 5 seconds on the clock, and they have to do what they're about to do here. Tough one.
Seconds on the timer. Robinson gets another rebound. So James Robinson with 5 rebounds, and they gave no points for Robinson.
Well, that's what happens when you shoot long 3 balls. You get long rebounds, and the guards usually are involved in a long rebound. And Robinson's been the recipient of it.
Rushing ripped down that rebound in front of 3 different Holy Cross Crusaders. Holy Cross has been on quite a scoring drought. The Panthers with a 36-21 lead. Pitt leads by 15. Holiday Hoops on ESPN with Curtis Aiken. I'm Tim Everett back at the Peterson Event Center. 10:48 to go in the second half. Pitt has held Holy Cross to limited points this half. They've gone 5 minutes and 43 seconds without allowing a point to their opponent tonight. Holy Cross 2 for 12 this half from the floor, 1 for 8 from outside the arc. Pitt will have the possession. Jamel Artis.
Holy Cross has 8 turnovers and 3 assists. It's never good when you have more turnovers and assists. Usually like that, a ratio would be the other way.
Artis got it to go. Turnaround shot.
Tim, you talked about the fact that the Panthers haven't shot any outside shots. That's by design. I mean, if you clearly look and see that the Panthers have the height and size advantage, that's what you call good coaching.
And Miller tries another 3 and misses.
Take the ball to your strengths.
Putback is good by Taylor Apt.
Miller hasn't even been close tonight.
Crusaders 1 for 9 this half from outside the 3-point arc. 2 for 19 of the game. It is 15 for Pitt. And Young gets it back to Robinson. Stop at the free throw line. Cameron Wright for 3. And he missed it. Rebound Jones. He missed it. Another opportunity, Young, and he missed it. Second and third chance opportunities for Pitt. And now Holy Cross going to the basket. Knocked out of bounds by Apt. And the Panthers will have the ball with 9:25 to go. But second chance point's a big thing, but you get a third chance and you don't convert. That's something else.
It gives them 13 offensive rebounds. Panthers, that is.
0 for 5 for Pitt.
Now 8 second chance points for Panthers. 0 for Holy Cross.
You know, it's uncommon today in college basketball to see a team go through an entire game without a three-point. That one's going to count on the continuation. Robinson gets his first pass of the game.
This may be 3 the hard way. Nice finish by Robinson. Absorbed the contact over the top.
Foul will be called on Christopher Morgan.
Who's not to be denied on that drive. Here's your three-pointer here. 3 the hard way.
3 the hard way.
The old-fashioned way.
The team in the country that has the longest streak of three-pointers made, the Running Rebels of UNLV. They have made at least 1 three-pointer in a game since they put the line on the floor back in the 80s.
They're always fun to watch. Champion.
Will drive. Pumps a pass to Morgan. That's out of bounds off of Holy Cross. And I was at a game they played against Air Force a few years ago when they did not have a three-pointer and managed to get one in the final minute of the game to keep that streak alive.
Was he calling that one?
Yeah. Thought we were going to see some history, but we didn't. Robinson with a pass to Chris Jones. 8:40 to play. He is 18 and Young. The offensive foul count as a turnover. 3rd foul on Young.
Young has been creating the contact all night. Let's take a closer look here. It's a legitimate call.
Young with 13 points. Take a look at what Young has done over his last 3 games, Curtis. He's averaged 16.3 points and 10.7 rebounds a game. So he has been in double figures in both points and rebounds over the last 3 games.
Just picking up from where he left off from last year, and talk about this summer. He was the MVP of the Pro-Am League here in Pittsburgh. All-tourney over in Hawaii. He's had an outstanding summer.
Great start so far. Artis. Jamel Artis now with 8. Largest lead of the game for Pitt at 20 points with 8 minutes to go.
I talked about that at the top of the show. The Panthers on any given night have someone that could light you up. I mean, Artis is good. We talked about his career high over in Chaminade, and of course, Cam Wright can fill it up, and Chris Jones is a superb outside shooter and scorer.
Miller missed on the left-hand lane. Ochibo the rebound.
Ochibo is really giving them some solid minutes tonight.
Jones hits. Well, Chris Jones knocks down the long jumper. And it is 45-23. That's a long 2 for Jones. And the lead now 22 points.
It's one of the things that Coach Dixon does so well is he actually called that timeout. And you may think, why would he call timeout with this type of lead with 7:34 to go in the ball game? But he likes to teach when the guys are in a good frame of mind. He's not always calling timeout because you're upset because, you know, the other team just got to run on you. You're upset that someone just threw the basketball away. Let's talk to these guys when everyone walking back to the huddle in good spirits, feeling good about themselves. Let's teach and preach and encourage these guys to continue to do what they're doing. I love it.
Jamel Artis has 8 points and Jones with 6. Leading scorer is Michael Young with 13. He leads all scorers in the game tonight. Only player in double figures for either team.
But the Panthers have 8 guys that have scored in this ball game tonight.
So they've distributed the ball rather well, spread it around. Anthony Thompson, the Patriot League All-Rookie League team last year. Malachi Alexander. He runs into a big crowd.
Malachi is going to be a force in the Patriot League.
Got 25-12, and Burrell hits the three. Right over Robinson. Justin Burrell has led his team in scoring twice. He had 18 against New Jersey Institute of Technology and also 16 against the Crimson of Harvard.
Coach Brown knows that he's capable of giving them more, and he's asking for more. Always good when the coach is telling him to shoot the ball, son, shoot the ball.
Well, whistle away from the ball. Holy Cross will have it when we come back to the Pitt turnover. 45-26. Some of the guys the ACC teams will have to contend with very shortly after the first of the year. Trevor Lacey, NC State, averaging nearly 18 a game. Jared Grant for Notre Dame. Jaleel Okafor, just a freshman, a newcomer, and averaging 17.4 points a game so far.
You talk about fun to watch. I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he won't be around but a year, trust me. But, you know, you talk about the ACC, I think they have more talent this year than a year ago from top to bottom. Obviously, they were top heavy the last couple of years, but I think overall, from top to bottom, very, very solid players in the ACC. Should be a fun year.
Well, Holy Cross with a basketball with 6:42 to go in the game. 38-20. Pitt with 18 more rebounds. Burrell with another dribble. He's had a quick 6 for the Crusaders.
Burrell has stepped into 2 jump shots and hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
For Jones. Jones the bounce pass back to Artis, who launches and hits, and that's the first 3 of the game for Pitt.
As you mentioned, they haven't been looking for the threes, but Artis and Jones are the 2 that are on the floor right now that can knock down threes with regularity.
1 for 6 as a team from three-point land. Anthony Thompson back for Alexander. And that one through the hands of Morgan and into the hands of Jones. Jones trying to create some space, and there's Artis to clean things up. So now Artis in the double figures. And Artis, 11 points. Make it 13. He and Michael Young, each with 13. Well, this time dribbling into 2-point territory. He's been good from 3. Malachi Alexander will try a 3. Comes up short. And a rebound put back by Miller.
Alexander got to get a little more lift on that jump shot. Got to take advantage of those open looks.
So Artis hanging on to the basketball. Right now, Pitt is trying to set up their offense, not trying to get a quick two.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on to the basketball is something that they're going to do for the remainder of the game with 4:40 to go in the game. Panthers going to work the clock and not to look to attack the rim till about 10 seconds on the clock.
Offensive foul whistled on Chris Jones. That's his first. And turnover. That's the team's sixth. Holy Cross with 17 fouls, so Pitt is in the bonus the rest of the way.
Just two starters in the game for the Panthers right now, and that's Artis and Cameron Wright, other three reserves.
Artis came from behind and knocked it away from Alexander. And Cameron Wright going coast to coast. He scores. He's got the basket, and he'll go to the line for a possible three-point play.
Long finish by Wright. Did a good job of protecting the basketball. That guy's reaching in. Nice finish. Left hand.
6 points for Wright. They'll try to make it 7 right here. Cam Wright had his first start against St. Bonaventure, coming back from a foot injury. Since he's come back, the team is 4-0.
Certainly needs his leadership. Pick and roll to pick and pop. Nothing is effective for him.
Zapped. And looks like he was fouled on the way up. And Anthony Thompson got the worst of it. He found himself on the floor.
Tim, I was just mentioning the pick and rolls and pick and pops that Holy Cross typically runs. They just abandoned it because it's just not been effective for them. The Panthers are doing an excellent job of hedging or switching at the right times and forcing them into some really tough shots.
So Taylor App will shoot. Sophomore from Stewartsville, New Jersey. Originally ended up going to high school in Pennsylvania, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Tim, I thought the zoo was on break, man. They're in effect behind us today.
Oh, Jeter trying to posterize Campion there. That ball goes out of bounds back to Holy Cross to Cam Wright. Getting it done offensively, and this was the start of a three-point play. But on top, 53-31. Leading scorers in the ball game: Michael Young with 13, Jamal Artis with 13, Cameron Wright with 7, and Joe Ochibo coming off the bench with a quick 6. There's been some distribution of the basketball in this game tonight, as Pitt is looking to win their 5th straight and their 29th straight non-conference game. With a win tonight, Pitt would go to 116-3 against non-conference opponents in this building.
Tremendous record against non-conference opponents, but you talk about the balanced scoring, and that's something I think Jamie Dixon realizes, that if they're going to be successful in the ACC, they can't only rely on Mike Young to be the scorer for them. They have to have balance scoring throughout the team.
Malcolm Miller with another basket. Miller with 7 points. I asked Coach Brown today what he said about Miller. Tell us something about Miller. He said he needs to be our ace. He's got to be our ace this year. There's a guy that came in with 687 career points. He'll get to 700 points tonight if he can. And foul underneath.
Good pin down. Derek Randall. Notice ground on the block. Nice find by Newkirk.
So Randall, left-handed power forward. Advantage to being a lefty.
Always an advantage. As a player, I hated playing against lefties. You know, obviously everything you do, the majority of the population is right-handed, and you're going up against a left-handed guy, and particularly if he was crafty with the basketball in terms of off the bounce, very difficult to defend. As a big, I can imagine guarding a big would be the same way. Very awkward.
Randall and Newkirk guarding Burrell. Burrell floats one up there. Randall taps it to himself, and Pitt with the basketball. Under 3 minutes left. Holy Cross will open Patriot League play Wednesday. A week from tomorrow is Luther's second reverse lay-in of the game.
That's no mistake that Luther finds himself in the right place at the right time. He has a very high basketball IQ.
Oh, wide open for Burrell.
I think Newkirk was looking for the switch that wasn't there. Burrell took it to the rim.
That was a big space on the floor left open for the guard.
It's called a breakdown of communication.
He's got 8 points. Working down the 2-minute mark. Josh Newkirk. That's that one going. That's tipped out of bounds by Randall. Still 2:01 to go. Holy Cross gets the ball back. And in comes Mike Leasack as Cameron Wright goes out. One of the walk-ons that is pretty popular around this Pitt campus. Leasack, a walk-off from Wheeling Jesuit. A basket for Malcolm Miller. Miller now with 9 points. He averages over 12 a game. It was extremely quiet in the first half. Didn't score until the second half. Champion tapped that one out of bounds and trying to defend Sheldon Jeter. 1:32 to go on this one.
Coach Dixon's almost up 20. He's still on the sideline coaching. Talked about earlier, finishing the game the right way. Got to be sharp.
Holy Cross came into this game ranked 6th in the NCAA, averaging 10.2 steals a game. We've not seen that in effect here tonight.
No, the Panthers have too many guys in multiple positions that can handle the basketball, good passers. I didn't anticipate that they would bother the Panthers with their defense and turn the Panthers over very much today, but it's hard for any team to do that when you have 2 point guards out there at any given time when you talk about Newkirk and James Robinson, and if Newkirk's not in the game, it's usually Cameron Wright, and he can handle the basketball like a point guard as well. So turnovers is not something that they do very often.
Upcoming for Pitt, December 30th. That'll be a week from tonight. The final non-conference game before conference play begins. Then they'll head down to Raleigh. Take on NC State on January 3rd at Chestnut Hill and Boston College on January 6th. Home to Clemson and Florida State after that.
Shot of Jamie Dixon doing something that you don't see him do much. Let's take a seat.
Yeah. He does wear out the wood in front of the bench, doesn't he? Leasack will hand off to Luther. Right now, the Panthers wouldn't mind getting a walk on a basket here. Mark Leasack.
They'll run something to him.
Newkirk Underneath to Randall. He was fouled.
A couple walk-ons about to check in.
2 more walk-ons will come in the ball game. Aaron Phillips Nwanko will come in. He's on an academic scholarship, not an athletic scholarship. He has got a brilliant mind.
Right kid.
And Joshua Coe, known as KO, is also coming in. The walk-ons are now in for Pitt with under a minute to go. The Hawaii native.
Think they'll try to get some shots up? Think they'll try to get a couple shots up?
Yeah. Randall's shot is good. Rattled around the rim. Well, as you get closer to conference play, you're not going to see the walk-ons get as much of an opportunity.
Always good to see them get in the game. They work so hard throughout the week, helping prepare these guys for this kind of action.
Aaron Phillips Nwanko is a neuroscience major on a full academic scholarship. He was a 3-time Big East All-Star honoree in terms of academics, and now an ACC academic honoree.
Can you imagine that kind of major and kind of travel that's involved with playing basketball and the commitment? Unbelievable.
Most people can't pronounce the classes he has to take.
He enjoys the game as well. Works as hard as anyone else out there.
Well, the Crusaders out for the final 44 seconds of this one. They'll go to 5-5. Pittsburgh will go to 9-3. Shot is short. Lee Sack touched it first, and he gets it again. Hands off to Newkirk.
Newkirk's job is to get the ball in the hands of the walk-ons, trying to get him a bucket.
Lee Sack with it over the call.
He's in range.
He likes to shoot. There's a 3. Walk on the rebound. Still battling for the loose ball, and he commits the foul.
Cole would like to get that one back. He felt like he shot it a little quick. He squares up. He can knock it down.
It's so different in practice and when you're scrimmaging, but when you're in the arena and the lights are on and the Oakland Zoo is standing, it's a little different.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Well, Malcolm Miller trying to get himself into double figures. He's got 9.
He's very quiet this afternoon, or this evening, I should say.
And a double figure game for Miller. So Miller is the only Crusader in the double figures. The fewest points allowed this year for Pitt was in the season opener against Niagara, and they allowed 45 back on the 14th of November. Right now, Holy Cross with just 39. So this will be one of those defensive efforts that Jamie Dixon will be happy with, and getting a chance to hold a team under 40. Go to the basket. And the rebound to Randall, trying to get Lesak a shot. Lesak kicks it out to Newkirk. 2 seconds to go. 1 second. Nwanko throws it up. He got it at the buzzer.
Good to see one go down for the young man.
So 58-39, the final score. Pitt with the victory, and with 3 walk-ons on the floor, one of them gets in the scoring column. So Jamie Dixon, career win, 297. He is 297 and 99. Well, we hope you have a great holiday season, everybody. As we hope you've enjoyed Holiday Hoops with us. For our entire crew here in Pittsburgh and for Curtis Aiken, I'm Tim Neverett. saying so long from the Peterson Event Center. Pittsburgh has beaten Holy Cross by the final score of 58-39. Happy holidays to you and yours. Hope you enjoyed watching Holiday Hoops on ESPN.